Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from Tony Valentino. So this is talking about how XRP is the green swan. So we do see what green swans are. I'm sure that a lot of you are probably all aware of the Black Swan events, but here we have, according to his book, green swans are solutions that take us exponentially towards breakthrough or systemic solutions to global challenges, solutions that tap into positive exponentials. They deliver exponential progress in the form of economic, social, and also environmental wealth creation. Too often, black swans take you exponentially where you don't want to go, whereas green swans take you exponentially where you do want to go. Now, a lot of people have been addressing the fact that, we are in this economic disruption of the entire financial system. And what does that mean? Well, it looks like everything is on a downfall, everything is collapsing, and this new system is incoming. And I do believe that that is the case. I think that when we really kind of look at the overall financial markets, I think that they are creating this sort of landscape of okay, well, how can we destroy the old system to usher in the new system? The biggest problem with that is that we have been addressing the fact that the new system could very well take our privacy away from us and control everything around us. Now, to me, when we look at a few things within this, the one thing that I want to focus on, though, is the fact that we don't need a CBDC in order for XRP's value to exponentially go up. We looked at a few things going back into the past, and the one quote that always stood out to me was the one from Bob Way, and this is from Riz XRP over here. So we do see several people left fancy jobs and joined Ripple because, I paraphrase, if we capture even a minor fraction of the international payments market, do you know the value XRP will have or need to have to support that? Do the math. Really, really big trade number divided by 100 billion XRP equals wow. And yeah, I mean, when we really kind of look at this, it's insane. To me, the value of XRP never was supposed to be, okay, well, let's see, XRP trading at $35,000 to $50,000, which a lot of people do, come up with in terms of the buyback. But the value behind XRP, in my opinion, is almost unlimited. I always say, I don't look at the value of XRP in, okay, well, how many dollars is XRP trading at? Or how many cents is XRP trading at? No, I always say 1 XRP equals 1 XRP. And I think that that's how anyone in crypto should value their holdings. And of course, I addressed this in yesterday's video too. I talked about, how value does matter if of course, you are extremely short term, or if you just want to make, extreme wealth. But I do hold a significant amount of crypto that I never plan on selling, especially in terms of the blue chip area around QNT, XRP, XLM, Algo, etc. Because I do believe that these are assets that will play vital roles in the future financial system. Now, like I said, we need to pay attention to CBDCs because I do think that CBDCs are a very concerning subject. We've talked about this and addressed this many times on this channel, but I will continue to invest into assets like XRP that I believe are going to be a pinnacle success. I think that they will play an astronomical role in moving value, as well as being the settlement token around value transmission. We do see over here from XRP Darren, aka Fame21 More over on Twitter. Definitely go check out his YouTube channel as well. I highly advise you to do so. He does not nearly get enough love and attention that he deserves. So definitely go check him out. But we do see U.Today reports XRP standard to be used by major Commonwealth Bank. The article is quoting their response to a migration to ISO 20022. ISO does not equal XRP. ISO is a standard for payments that allows banks to have a universal standard for payments. And yes, a lot of people kind of confuse what ISO actually means. Now, when we look at ISO 20022, a lot of people believe that this is going to be the game changer around XRP, XLM, Algorand, and other ISO tokens. Or I shouldn't even say ISO tokens, but ISO companies. The biggest misconception here is the fact that ISO is going to create value for these tokens. In my opinion, when we look at ISO 20022, I do think that this is going to be the messaging standard that allows for tokens like XRP, XLM, etc. to be utilized as settlement mechanisms within ISO payments. I think that that's the biggest thing to focus on around Ripple, which is ISO, of course, compliant. And we do see like Bank of Australia's largest financial conglomerate, CommBank, has announced it will begin migrating cross-border payments to the ISO 20022 standard this month. CommBank plans to complete the transition of all payments conducted by it to the advanced standard by November 2025. We do see that from November 2022, cross-border payments will start to migrate to ISO 20022, with all payments to be made and received using ISO 20022 by November of 2025. Cross-border payments will be greatly simplified as a result. And what makes this announcement interesting is that Ripple, which uses XRP in its operations and whose RippleNet network was originally designed to comply with ISO 20022, already meets the standard. Now again, as we look into this, do I believe that XRP is going to be the one-size-fits-all for all payments and things like that? I don't believe so. And even if it is, it's going to take a very long time for that to morph into reality. But one thing that we could take from this is the fact that when we know that Ripple is ISO compliant, we also know that going forward with these payments, XRP could very well be utilized as the settlement mechanism with all of these major payments. Again, we take a look over here, like ISO is a standard for payments that allows banks to have a universal standard for payments. It's going to help alleviate the problems within the current financial sector, which is the fact that everything is kind of fragmented. Like everyone is utilizing their own standards almost, or it's not, how should they're not interoperable, right? This is going to embrace greater interoperability, efficiency around payments, transactions, etc. So this is great for the overall financial industry, but a lot of people are kind of confused on how this is going to create value for tokens. Again, in my opinion, the way that I look at it is the value proposition here for like XRP or even XLM is the fact that they could be utilized as a settlement mechanism within, for an example, like the Ripple network, which is designed to comply with ISO 20022. But the next big thing that I want to talk to you guys a little bit about is like this Green Swan event. Back onto this discussion, what do I believe that this Green Swan event around XRP could be? Well, I do think that just the idea of moving value as fast as possible, settling it as fast as possible, and really kind of disrupting the entire payment flow. And we're kind of already seeing that happen right now. We're seeing a lot of things move extremely quick around this market. I think that the adoption cycle of crypto is continuously moving faster and faster. I think that a lot more adoption is taking place. We've seen this already in 2022. I mean, going back to the beginning of this year to now, yes, we have seen a bumpy road up and down, especially with the collapses of a lot of these companies. Again, a lot of them, you could argue, are pre-planned. We might even break down a video on that here soon. But to me, when we look at what is happening around like XRP, we kind of focus on what Ripple is trying to do. And yesterday I did make a video on why I believe that Ripple will continue to shock the world and really kind of break out into a $1 trillion plus company. I think that they are on the path to that. And we do see like building the internet of value, enabling the world to move value the way information moves today. Build breakthrough crypto solutions for a world without economic borders. And this is happening through cross-border payments. Through blockchain technology, Ripple enables global financial institutions, businesses, governments, and developers to move, manage, and tokenize value, helping to unlock greater economic opportunity for everyone, everywhere. In my opinion, the Green Swan event shouldn't be just centered on XRP. I don't think that we should just center it on XRP. I think that crypto itself is going to be... I think that crypto is almost like a Green Swan technology. I think that this is the technology that will transform every aspect of finance. It's the number one reason why I believe that crypto will have a $100 trillion plus valuation on it. And I don't think that's going to be all of these cryptocurrencies. You got to remember that there's 20,000 plus projects in the space that are not all creating value. In fact, a lot of them are complete trash. There's a lot of scams. I mean, we are still living in an unregulated space around crypto. So you got to understand that there's not going to be a lot of, hey, this token's actually creating value, or, oh, hey, look at this crypto actually has a use case. No, some of them, and I would argue that most of them are just complete trash. Anderson, if you guys don't know Anderson around the XRP community, he even said, he argues that it's not just 99% of the market, it's 99.99% of the market where there's that fraction of a percent that's actually legit projects that could disrupt the entire space. If we are seeing, maybe like a select 100 projects, right? 100 projects around crypto that are actually creating value, doing huge things, and we have this market sitting at a $100 trillion plus valuation by, we'll say 2030, 2035, then these tokens like XRP are going to increase exponentially in value. But you could see what they are doing in terms of what Ripple is trying to really kind of build out to. We do see their numbers here. We see their offices, countries, and stuff. And I know that XRP isn't Ripple and Ripple isn't XRP, but Ripple does source XRP. Ripple utilizes XRP mainly, and also, of course, the XRP ledger. They see the disruption or disruptive technology behind this in terms of a transformative way of going about business, really kind of evolving around the entire world, as we do see here. Transformative crypto solutions built to connect an evolving world. And a lot of their, customers, a lot of what they are doing as well is focused on some very large use cases. We've been talking about this for so long, and I know that I kind of sound like a broken record at this point, but the value is there. You could see the stats, you could see everything. It's all facts on what crypto is doing for these businesses compared to the legacy system. It's night and day. This is why I say this technology is the green swan technology. This is going to change every aspect of life. It's going to be the next big thing, if you will. It's going to be the biggest thing technology-wise that we've ever seen. And I've always said this because of the value locked behind it. And when I say the value locked behind it, it's like regulations are locking a lot of these major companies out. Some of these companies like Modular, right? Which is Modular is a UK and European company that is moving massive amounts of money. They have a 99.99% payment processing uptime. And by the way, their case study is very significant. All of these case studies that are on Ripple's website, you could see the payments, the statistics on what they are doing. The partnership lays the groundwork for an even bigger things to come. This is a global payments transfer company. And this is why we focus on Ripple with XRP. A lot of people will argue XRP is a scam token, XRP is this, XRP is that, and that's okay. We don't need everybody on board. In fact, a lot of people argue that the train has already left the station. I mean, you look at all of these case studies over here. I don't care about some individual commenting on a tweet or a YouTube video saying, hey, XRP is creating no value, XRP is this, XRP hasn't hit an all-time high since blah, blah, blah. All you need to do is come over here to Ripple's website, go to the case studies, and look through the major companies that are utilizing XRP on a daily basis for global remittances, cross-border payments, whatever the case may be. The number one that I always look at is Tranglo, because Tranglo has massive numbers behind it. I mean, this is a huge name that is continuously expanding. 2,200 number of Tranglo payout partners, 25 currencies support it, and you can see Tranglo has always prided itself on making cross-border transactions faster, cheaper, and more secure. By partnering closely with Ripple and introducing on-demand liquidity to new markets, we aim to further that ambition to provide accessible and equitable financial services to the masses. Everything that we have seen from Ripple in the last couple years has been built on a foundation of global support around cross-border payments. And again, as we look at crypto, as it continues to kind of blossom out into this huge industry, we need a few things in place. Okay, we definitely do. But all of these major companies that are working with Ripple, that are focused on, utilizing Ripple technology centered on blockchain with XRP, we focus on on-demand liquidity so much because XRP is the power source behind that. We just recently seen Ripple host the Ripple Swell event in London. It was a huge event. There's a lot of things coming out on Twitter around this event. Definitely highly suggest everybody go look at all of this stuff. But we hear from Ripple here, and it's saying, our customers refuse to let legacy financial systems slow them down. And this is from Navin Gupta. He's the managing director of MENA at Ripple. Welcome to on-demand liquidity to customers to share the benefits of incorporating crypto solutions into their businesses. Listen closely to this real quick, and then we will address this after.
We adopt Ripple with the ODL as well. It makes the whole transactions to be much more smoother. It used to take half a day at least. Right now it's only 5 minutes. We get the funds from Australia all the way to Singapore within 5 minutes times. And it allows to create more business opportunity for us as well. So based on what we have seen after we adopt, we have seen 15% growth from the day we start until today.
We can scale up, scale down. We know when our peaks are. And we can give these guys a heads up, the Ripple team a heads up, this is going to be the forecast we have ahead. And we've done that for, we've got Lunar New Year coming up. It's a huge part of our year. And we know that that's not going to be, there's no roadblocks to that. These guys will know, our partners will know, and it's just an incredible sort of liberating process. We want to grow and without any roadblocks.
And this is what Ripple is accomplishing for these companies. I mean, these companies are so used to the legacy system. The legacy systems are slowing everything down. The legacy systems are extremely fragmented. I mean, at the end of the day, what's going to happen with CBDCs? What's going to happen, around these markets? What's going to happen within finance? To me, you could tell why Ripple was targeted. You could tell why XRP, is under so much scrutiny. Individuals around the banking sector, the legacy system, are extremely terrified of technology like this because it's usurping so much demand out of that system that these individuals are eating off of. That's why I love this quote from Bob Way, because it really is something revolutionizing. I mean, this is insane to me, because the value behind XRP could very well be astronomically much higher than anyone can assume it to be. You really kind of just take the amount of transactions, the amount of value that is going to be derived from the financial system. You kind of compare it to the 100 billion XRP that's out there. You divide it, you see the value. I mean, the value doesn't lie. The value here, everything that we are seeing on a day-to-day basis is morphing into reality. Things are moving extremely fast. Ripple is continuously making a ton of noise around the region, especially outside of the US, and it's only a matter of time before we do hit, global adoption. I do think that when we look at what the U.S. is doing with regulations, they are definitely holding a lot of things back. But outside of the U.S., in the U.K., in Europe, and Singapore, all these areas, like, they are moving so fast on regulations, and it's only a matter of time before the green light does go on, and we see Ripple go fully live globally with XRP powered on-demand liquidity, and the value as well as the volume of XRP being moved every single day is going to hit highs that no one could ever imagine possible in such a short amount of time. A lot of people definitely underplay how fast things can move, but in the last 11 months, we have seen things around crypto move extremely fast. People have been taken off guard by things that have happened recently within crypto. I mean, the FTX situation, nobody could have guessed that the FTX situation was going to happen. Things that have happened this year in terms of adoption, in terms of the big names jumping in, BlackRock, I mean, these huge financial institutions, like, nobody could have ever thought that things would happen this fast by 2022. And this is only just the beginning. In the next 5 years, things are going to look extremely different around the crypto landscape. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.